Temple Kol Ami's major spring fundraiser features a renowned Israeli-American comedian and educator who delves into how humor helps Israelis and Jews around the world navigate life's most challenging moments. Here to give us more info on the fundraiser is Rabbi Natalie Shribman and comedian actor Benji Lovitt. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I appreciate it. I want to start with you, Rabbi, if you don't mind. Just give us the details of the event for people who are just joining us, the where, when also.
Yes, the event is on May 17th at 7 p.m. at Temple Kol Ami in our building.
Perfect. So that's something that we're looking forward to in May. Now, can you just break down why it is important to feel joy and to laugh right now in the Jewish world?
Yes, right now we've been experiencing many challenging moments as a people and as individuals. And with each successive incident, there are many intense emotions building up inside of us. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have these emotions that we can't really share for fear of repercussions based on who we're sharing those emotions with. When we laugh, we're able to open ourselves to whatever we may be feeling and allow these emotions to escape. This is good for our overall health, our community to be laughing together collectively, and good for us as a people.
I would have to agree with that as well. So looking at it from a different perspective, Benji, the comedian, I want to speak from your perspective. How is laughter used in Judaism?
Well, I wouldn't say Judaism, the religion, so much as the Jewish people. Mm-hmm. And throughout our history, we say that we have laughed to keep from crying. And I have to say, it's very important for me to say to people who maybe haven't been to Israel before, I'm in Tel Aviv right now, and there's a war going on, and war is awful. And someone might say, how can you possibly laugh about anything right now? And the best way I explain it to Americans is that if I told you 5 years ago that we would go through a global pandemic and 1 million Americans would die, you would say, how could we ever laugh again?
Right.
Yet we watch Saturday Night Live with jokes about social distancing and masking and senior citizens not knowing how to use Zoom. So we don't laugh at the suffering, we laugh at what we're going through, because if we didn't, we would lose our minds. So I think it's a universal human tendency, but I can say as a Jew that we laugh because it's better than crying.
And that's a good point. And I'm glad you brought up, just like for an example, back in the pandemic and things of that nature, when everything was so different for everybody being in the house and doing things online. So from your perspective, what role does a live in-person performance play in healing or even uplifting the community compared to like online comedy?
Well, you're not going to find a comedian who prefers an online show. And I think if not for COVID, it wouldn't even exist. But comedy's complicated. I don't think most people understand that it's not just an art, it's a science. There's a lot that goes on there. And, there's the jokes the comedian says, but it's really about the relationship between the comedian and the audience. And it's the only art form, really, that depends on the reaction of the audience. You can have a band playing, and it can be background music. If people don't cheer, it doesn't mean they didn't enjoy it. But when you can have that connection and something happens live, unexpected in the audience, and the comedian makes them laugh, magic happens. Yeah. And so many times I've had people tell me, thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for reminding me why it's okay to have fun. A live comedy show, there's nothing like it.
I know, right? As someone who loves comedy itself, specifically even live comedy, I completely understand the reaction time is different, the engagement is different, and it just hits a lot different as well. With us right here live on The Splash, by the way, Temple Kol Ami's Rabbi Natalie Shribman and comedian actor Benji Lovitt talking about the upcoming spring fundraiser that features Israeli-American comedian and educator Benji Lovitt. Just talking about the event and laughter in general and why it's important. So going to you, Rabbi, I want to just find out, how do you feel laughter fits into this time of year for the Jewish calendar, I should say, specifically?
Right, so the Jewish people just celebrated Passover. It's our collective liberation holiday. And now we are counting our days toward the next holiday of Shavuot, and we receive the Torah. And in between those two holidays, it's a time of wilderness, uncertainty, and we don't know what the future is going to hold. And so when we laugh, we can give ourselves like sustainment and feel ready for the journey ahead. And when we count the days between Passover and Shavuot, we're counting the Omer. This was once a time of mourning, and when Benji Lovitt comes to town, it's actually the weekend of Lag BaOmer, when the mourning can be broken for one day and joyous occasions can occur of laughter. So how serendipitous it is to have a comedian who will help us laugh and get in touch with our emotions more clearly for the next couple of weeks of the Omer until Shavuot.
I love that. Makes sense. It's all in divine order. It's supposed to be what it is, and I love to hear that. So continuing on with you, Rabbi, I just want to know, Greater West Bloomfield, we actually pride ourselves on volunteerism and charity. So how do you hope this fundraiser deepens the Temple's partnership with local civic groups and families as well?
I think, as Benji was saying earlier, he lives in Israel and he's experiencing all these somewhat terrible events. And us, removed from Israel, we're just reading about it in the media. And so it's much different to hear about it from the person who's living in these events that are being described. Our tradition teaches us that we are more powerful when we're together. And at times of global uncertainty in our country, in our town, in our own Judaism, we need to be together for whatever reason so we can strengthen our community, our unity as a single community.
Very inspiring and very good to hear as well. Don't want to hold you two up too much longer. Just want to ask you a few more questions before we let you go. And this question I want both of you to answer, starting with you, Benji. What message or messages of hope and unity do you anticipate resonating most strongly with the diverse Greater West Bloomfield audience?
I guess I would say it's okay to laugh. And I've lived abroad outside the States for 18 years now. And, I'm still American in many ways. I'm Israeli in many ways. But the Israeli in me realizes that sometimes we're Americans, we're not so great at understanding when we can laugh. And I feel like comedians are often misunderstood. We say, you can't say that, you can't say that, that's offensive. Comedians are really usually not trying to offend. We're usually trying to cheer you up and have a good time. And, I just want to say life is hard. After 9/11, somehow we moved on, and after Corona. And, I don't want to minimize any of the horrible stuff going on here or in the States, but, it is human to cry. It is equally human to laugh. And if we can't do that, then how are we going to have the strength to even keep fighting the good fight? So it's okay to laugh, and it just should remind us that we got to keep going.
I love that response, too. And you too, Rabbi?
So I think that when we're all together, hope can manifest more easily because we have the support of each other to lean on in difficult times. When I've heard about how people are responding to this difficult time in Israel, there's been lots of laughter, memorializing, and remembering, and there can be a lot of creativity in how we do that, and that also can inspire hope. We've seen Israel still continuing on. It hasn't stopped them, this war, and it's made us feel like we are stagnant, and we are still able to continue fighting and giving something to the world. And so the purpose is for us to gather together, to laugh, and even more so just to be together, to hope we can find opportunities in addition to this to be together and to visit with each other as well. Perfect. And lastly, just to ask you, continuing on with you, Rabbi, how do you think we continue to use humor and these shared cultural experiences to nurture understanding and resilience across our community? I think humor teaches us a lot about the place that we're living in and the place that people who we are with. Once we have found a chance to laugh together, to share that emotion, it's perhaps as if we can understand each other as well.
Same question to you, Benji?
Comedy's magic, I've lived in 2 democratic countries before, and one of the great things about living in a democracy is comedians can make fun of anything, and you can say anything, and, if we can laugh together, we can live together. I don't know who said it, but it's hard to hate someone when they're making you laugh. And we can get upset and angry about debate and dialogue, but if we can just laugh, it's, it reminds us that not to take so many things so seriously. There's a lot to take seriously, but we have to also know how to be happy in life, otherwise we will lose our minds.
100% agree with that. And Benji, before we let you go, the details, who, where, when, and why people can see you coming to Greater West Bloomfield in May.
That's going to be May 17th, I believe, at Kol Ami. I don't have the time because I'm 7 hours ahead of you guys, but Rabbi, did I get that right?
Yes, 7 p.m.
Saturday night. Awesome. See you there.
Perfect. Once again, thank you both for joining us. We appreciate your time. And thank you so much for bringing laughter to our community during a time it is definitely needed. Once again, from Temple Kol Ami, Rabbi Natalie Shribman and comedian, actor Benji Lovitt. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.